Did you know that Google personalizes many searches by city and Also Asked is the only tool to access live People Also Asked data at city level? Try for free at alsoasked.com.
I was going to say that SEO with Fat Joe is as peaceful as this, but then the birds are all having fights.
Tired of SEO guesswork? Quadra's AI agent goes deeper to uncover high-impact optimizations and completes hours of SEO in minutes. Get started now.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Core Web Vitals, again. We have been there. We know the pain. What I'm talking to you today is about how can we actually measure the impact of our work in traffic and SEO gains. I will be sharing some templates in the end, so get ready to take some pictures of my presentation. I will have some links there that you can download the templates, but I don't want you to get distracted in the meantime. So what we know is that Google launched Core Web Vitals and they announced in 2020, and it was LCP, FID, CLS at the time, just for mobile devices. I don't know about you, but this was my face when I realized that Google was giving us a metric that was also a ranking factor. I mean, yes, Core Web Vitals are just a very small subset of everything that Google takes in consideration. And at the time was just for mobile. It was not even for desktop. And it is part of a bigger search signal, which is the page experience. So keep that in mind, because when we are talking about Core Web Vitals, we are talking about a very small subset of metrics and ideas and signals that Google use to rank a page. Eventually, Google did not release Core Web Vitals in 2020 during the pandemic. We appreciate that. They moved to 2021, and we said, thank you. We take that time. We prepared presentations, decks. We went to our CPO, CMO, our engineer team, and we told them about the good news. We have a metric, and we need to have our website faster if we want to rank. That's what we told them. And Google even helped us, because then they postponed again to the summer of 2021. So we had plenty of time to convince our teams that this was a new world. That's what we had to do. It was to improve our websites, our mobile experience to users, and by doing that, we would be improving our rankings, right? We saved the date. We were ready. We had a plan, did we? Well, I don't know, maybe not. Only 39% of websites analyzed, actually, they passed Core Web Vitals. So why did most of the companies were not prepared for Core Web Vitals? It's difficult to justify the investment when we can't actually to know what is the impact. And when we sometimes, or most of the times, we cannot see the real impact when we do the work. We need to understand the impact, and we need to understand the investment. That's how companies prioritize, right? Eventually, Google released the Core Web Vitals to desktop indexing as well, which it gave us even more confident that Core Web Vitals is something really, really important. It's important enough because it's a ranking factor, not so important as relevance and content. Keep that in mind, but still important. Important enough for Google to provide us some calculators, some scoreboards where we could check our competitors. We could see how they were performing against us. And we had some data because Google created these type of calculators where we could put our conversion rate, our order value, and we could go to our team, our CPO, our CMO, and tell them, hey, if we improve Core Web Vitals, this is how much we can get. We had that. We had a full plan as SEOs. We went to everyone. But suddenly, we were not seeing companies buying it, or our teams were not confident, or engineers were like trying to understand, okay, we are doing all of this work for LCP, for CLS, but where are the results? And as an SEO community, what we do in that case is we knock John Mueller's door. That's what we do. And yeah, it's a ranking factor, not so important as others, still a ranking factor, but it's not a big one. So apologize, guys, but content is still the king. I was puzzled. I didn't know what to do. I needed my own data. I really needed to understand what I should be prioritizing. I had everyone asking me if we want to invest in Core Web Vitals, why, and what can we expect? And as every time it happens, I go to Google Sheets. I create some proof of concepts. So what I knew at the time, last year, to be honest, it is, okay, we have LCP, we have INP, CLS. Google wants to know about how fast the page loads, how interactive it is, how stable the design is. And we have the thresholds, we have the metrics. So how can I actually measure it? How can we pick in all of that information that we have and try to make sense? How can we use some other metric to understand the performance of our pages when our Core Web Vitals are on green? Is there any difference if we are on green or red? Is there any difference in performance of our page if we have the 3 greens or only 2 greens or 1 yellow? How do we know that? Traffic is a very volatile metric to be used against Core Web Vitals because there are so many other things that impact traffic. Demand, for example. We also have pages that have more brand content than others or brand traffic. So I assumed that CTR, it was my metric. I challenge you to think differently and maybe to use rankings as a proxy or traffic, but for my reality, CTR made tons of sense. So I had CTR, I had Core Web Vitals, and I had a chart. Yeah, it didn't help a lot, to be honest. I just picked, okay, full green against everything else. And good news, I had a chart with numbers. And bad news, I couldn't make any sense of all of that. So I came with 3 actions. And honestly, pick your phone. I'm seeing some of you doing that. And from now on, this is what you need to know if you want to try yourselves. I cannot have all the pages together. I cannot have in the same analysis blog and product pages. And it seems obvious, right? Blog, CTR, and informational CTR, especially today with the AI overview, it's not the same as product. So I need to compare apples to apples. I need to also to have some security that the pages compete in a very similar environment with very similar competitors. And finally, I correct the 75% out because I didn't understand that. And when I don't understand, as everyone else in this room, I went to ChatGPT and I asked how to solve the problem. That's what I did. Then I went to my engineer team. I made some questions. I got some help from my engineer team. And suddenly, I had my second attempt. Still not great, apologize. At this point, I was actually thinking that, well, Core Web Vitals doesn't impact rankings. There is nothing that we can do. At least for my reality, Core Web Vitals is not important. This was one page type. I'm showing you a real example of one page type. I run multiple of these stats for different pages and different websites, but this is only one. That was my first one. What I noticed here, it was the CTR. The CTR was too high. Something was wrong. I know my CTR is not like that. I wish. So I failed somewhere. Well, living and learning, I guess. So 3 more actions. It seems obvious now. Remember John Mueller. Content is way more important. Relevance is way more important. So I will always be ranking pretty well for brand queries, even if my Core Web Vitals are not that good. Relevance. So I remove brand queries from my analysis. And I also need to avoid any average. So I move from monthly analysis to weekly analysis because that's what Crux data is provided on a weekly basis. And I was just 3 greens against everything else. It was super simplistic. I wanted to know what about if I have 1 yellow at least, or if I have 1 red at least. So green, yellow, and red. And I had my 3rd attempt. And I was quite excited, honestly. And you can see the week 10 or 11 there, that match with the core update. I was so happy. And I ran this test across multiple pages and I saw the same. And I saw in others impact for each of the core updates. So definitely Google is playing around. Was I surprised to see the yellow and green with a very similar performance and not the red one? So we have red against everything else. I wasn't. Let me quote here. You will start to see positive effects once you get out of the poor area in Core Web Vitals. Who said that in 2021? Any guess? Yeah, John Mueller himself. He had advised us. He told us, remove the poor experience, and if you do that, you will see some impact. So do we need to have everything on green? In my case, in this case, for this page type, I know that I need to improve the reds to yellow or to green, but do I want to get my engineers working on the yellow LCP, because I know that is LCP, to move to green? Well, maybe not. So now I can calculate the CTR growth or the traffic growth for the pages that are in red. And if I multiply by the conversion rate and my order value on conversion value or LTV, I have revenue. I finally can go to my team and tell them, hey, you do this work, we get this money. My manager was quite happy with me. I only needed 2 metrics, Core Web Vitals and CTR. And now I will show you how I did that only using Google Sheets. So I create this template because I found a script by Henry Price online that helped me to pull Crux data in Google Sheets. So if you know him or if you find him online, tell him that he's the great. So I just use his work, I adapt for my reality, and I create this Google Sheet template. I will be sharing with all of you. The only thing that is needed is an API key that is free for Google. I have the step-by-step in the template. So I have clear screenshots there. You don't need to worry about that. In 5 minutes, you can get the API. You inject the pages that you want to analyze, and you have these in Google Sheets. And from a Core Web Vitals Crux data perspective, that's it. That's how easy it is. If you are more tech savvy, you can, of course, have that in a data lake or something like that. But still, now we have Core Web Vitals. We just need to understand what is green, red, and yellow. Some formulas there. You don't need to take pictures of these. You have in the Google Sheets. So from a Core Web Vitals Crux data perspective, that's it. That's how easy it is. Then you just need CTR. From Google Search Console, I love Search Analytics for Sheets. So it's an add-on. You just add that to Google Sheets and get your non-brand performance in the date and page format. That's what you need. It's in a template you can use. You will have automatically, if you use my template, a pivot table that get both of them. Then you just need to have a dashboard that shows you how you are performing for the different metrics. So what's next? I want to turn this to you. I've been sharing with you how we can predict traffic gains. But what if you can use the same principle for conversion? Because Google is telling us that if you improve Core Web Vitals, you are getting better rankings, but also users will be happier and convert better. So if you use the same principle and you get Core Web Vitals and you compare your performance with conversion rate, you can try to analyze if pages with better Core Web Vitals convert better than the others. And if you can get more traffic and better conversion rate, that's a win-win, I guess, and a lot of you will be quite happy. So from a Core Web Vitals perspective, if you want to use my template, the template that I create, you just need to get those two links. The first one will get you the historical data, and the second one will get you the template and the current crux data. Why did I split them? Because the way the API works, both APIs work, is different. So if you try to use both together, it will be quite complex. It's not impossible, but I don't recommend it. It's quite tricky. So, or use one or another. I don't fully recommend to use both of them. And yeah, if you have any other question, please let me know. If you think about Core Web Vitals differently today, or if I was able to provide you some insights and help you to think about Core Web Vitals differently, so my mission today was accomplished. Thank you so much.
Demand Sphere. Limitless visual insights from the SERPs. Unlimited dashboards and users. Easy to use and easy to scale your growth to new levels.
Monthly reporting making you want to shove sharp things up your nose? Try Dragon Metrics, the all-in-one SEO software with mind-blowing reporting tools.